It is I. Happy Monday. I'm so happy to be back with you guys this week for another travel video. I saw so many positive responses to the last travel video that I did in Sweden, so thank you for supporting and watching. Please, if you haven't already, please subscribe. And today we're going to talk about my travel experience in London. So let's go. One of the very first things that I noticed when I got off of my 8-hour flight from New York to London was this prayer room, and that was something that I don't think I've ever seen that traveling domestically or internationally, so I thought that was pretty cool and interesting. And a couple of quick tips that I use when I'm traveling is to always look at the exchange rates. And also in comparison to the US dollar, but in your respective country, make sure that you understand what the exchange rates are, so that you are staying on budget and you have enough money for your trip, and that doesn't get in the way of you having a great trip. You usually get the best exchange rates at banks or post offices and American Express offices. Some other places that you can check out are hotels. But I would say that it may be in your best interest to avoid any bureaus you see in the airports or the train stations or touristy areas, because usually they're going to have the worst exchange rate. So just keep an eye out on that stuff. The first time I saw a pound, I was just like in awe, and the money is so different from the US dollar. It's colorful, it's a little bit smaller in size, smaller but yet wider, and so I just noticed like automatically the difference. And of course it may be smaller in size, but as you can see, the pound is strong. Okay, the pound is strong. That's something that I kept saying while I was in London, because it felt like every time I had money in my hand, it was gone because everything was so expensive. I think I have 40 euros there, or 40 pounds, excuse me. So if you have 40 pounds, in American dollars, that's about like $52 or somewhere around that number. So we are walking along in London and it reminds me of home in so many ways. It's a beautiful city. Oh, Bethnal Green, such a lovely neighborhood. I really enjoyed staying in this part of town. It reminded me so much of New York and Chinese restaurants and, bodegas and, being so close to transportation. It was just like, I stepped into little Brooklyn or Queens or Manhattan. So it definitely reminded me of being at home, and I love that. As you can see, I was having so much fun. I love the idea of having sliding doors on the platform, and that being, once the doors open, then you are able to get on the train. Like, I just think that's so smart for several different reasons, safety reasons, keeping the platforms and the tracks clean. And that's another thing. London train stations were super clean. I mean, I think most places outside of New York City have super clean subway stations. So please comment below and tell me what city you're from, and if you've noticed that as well. If you've been to the city and compared to your city, how clean the stations are. So all of the underground pricing depends on several things. Depends on distance, so how far you're traveling. So there are 6 zones. You can go from zone 1 to zone 4, that'll be one price. Zone 2 to zone 3, that's another price. Zone your card based on where you're going. And I believe the term or the phrase is top off. That was something that I had to remember to say. As I toured around the city, I found that London is super accessible. I didn't feel like I was going to get lost. It felt very familiar having the signs and the street signs and the maps for tourists, I think is just a great idea and thing to have. Touring by myself, and so I found the city to be just super convenient. It is a beautiful day to be in London. It is really beautiful day. It's a bit windy, but it feels really nice. It feels like 70 degrees. Some dogs running in the park. It's so beautiful outside. In the apartment. Everything's just so lovely. Okay, off to Buckingham Palace. Made it to Buckingham Palace. I think I just missed the guard change, and so I didn't get to see the guard change, but I looked up some of the ceremonies online, and I can only imagine how much more beautiful it would have been in person, but I'm glad that I still made it to the palace. The next couple of photos coming up were taken at the Natural Science Museum. This was so beautiful. I've never seen so many beautiful emeralds and gemstones. One of the things I try to do when I'm traveling is to check out the museums in the city. I just think it brings a different perspective, and I just love really learning more about the history of the different cultures, and in this case, I learned a little bit about dinosaurs. I truly enjoyed London. I enjoyed the people. I enjoyed the museums, the art, the clubs even, which we'll talk about in a later video. But one of the things that wasn't as memorable for me was the food. I didn't have too many foods where it kind of blew my mind or it was just so amazing. Next time I visit, I'll definitely have to get some recommendations for places to eat. So I'm excited about that. Ah, yes. This facial expression is the look of satisfaction and exhaustion. I was so tired walking around the city all day. It was just a really great day, and this picture basically sums up my mood. Stay safe, be well. Thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, see you when I see you.